do you invest outside of your hometown and looking abroad or into a different province or a different city? It's a question that I get asked all the time. And so I thought I'd just do a quick little video, just sharing a little bit of my experience in regards to some of the things that you should be doing before you start considering investing in a different market, anywhere in the States, anywhere else in Canada. And the reason why people are even considering looking at a different city or a different market is maybe the fundamentals just don't make sense in their own home. And for myself, I live in Vancouver, and it's always very, very challenging to try to find good, strong cash flowing properties, which is why people start to kind of consider maybe looking outside of their backyard and looking for different and better opportunities, maybe somewhere else. And so that's kind of some of the main reasons why. But the biggest problem is people just have a challenge in regards to overcoming that kind of fear that they may have about possibly investing in a different market. So I just thought I'd share a little bit about maybe some of the things that you should be looking at before you consider investing in a different market. So like I said, I just came back from Edmonton last week. And so it was an idea that I had in my mind in regards to putting this video together, because I know this is a major obstacle for a lot of people that are looking for good, strong cash flowing properties, but just have the fear of going outside of that market to do so. So the first step that you want to do is when you're looking and considering a different particular market, the important part is just getting some analysis, having an understanding of what's going on with the economy there. Are there jobs is there job growth there? Is there in-migration that's actually happening, which means people coming from a different city to this particular city that you're investing in? And the reason why they most likely are moving is because they're looking for jobs. Is there major project announcements that are actually happening that's going to be creating some of those jobs that are people wanting to move to? So that's kind of one of the first key ones. And it's just more economic fundamentals within that particular area. Secondly, what are kind of the market conditions in that area in regards to the real estate prices? Are real estate prices up? Are they down? Are they a seller's market? Is it a balanced market? Is it a buyer's market? Having an understanding of what's happening with the real estate market is also key as well. So it provides you kind of clarity of where the economy is, what's kind of happening here, and not just in the purchase price or purchase property conditions, it's also in the rental conditions as well. So what's happening with the rental market? Is there low vacancy? Is there high vacancy? So just having some of that clarity behind it. And last but not least, it's also one of the things you want to be looking for is what are some of the rental regulations within that city or province. In some provinces, BC being one of them here, there's some very strict guidelines in regards to how much rent can be increased every single month. Well, when you're looking at a specific city or a specific market, you want to be paying attention, if insurance goes up, or if property taxes come up, how do I offset that expense with a rent increase? And will that 2 or 3% be able to offset some of those expenses? So by having clarity to what some of those rental regulations will be, it will give you an idea of, in this business, being real estate investing, will I be able to offset my expenses and continue to generate further cash flow in the short term and also in the long term as well? So once you've identified a specific market that is of an interest, the next major and most important step is actually establishing your team. And they are going to be instrumental in regards to making sure that your investment is going to do well. And so some of the people you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for a realtor, a good investment realtor. You're going to be looking for a lawyer. You may be looking for some contractors as well to help you do some renovations possibly. And most importantly, you're definitely going to need to hire a property manager. So with these individuals, my recommendation is you're definitely wanting to interview them and get a chance to see if they are perfect for you as a fit and perfect for your team to help you become successful out of market. And in this day and age, it's amazing. Technology is just absolutely amazing. You got FaceTime, you've got Zoom, you've got Skype, lots of ways to kind of have a video conference or video meeting with them, so you get a chance to interview them, get a chance to know them, and just kind of get a sense if this would be a right fit for your team. But these individuals are going to be your eyes and ears for your investment. So it's going to be really, really important that you have a good, solid team when you're investing in a different marketplace. Next is kind of a real key one that goes with any real estate investment. But there's something a little bit unique that you're going to put in your property analysis. So property analysis is a very simple process in regards to what's the income, what are the expenses? At the end of the day, what's the cash flow that this property is going to generate? Regardless if you're buying in your own hometown or in a different marketplace, the numbers really shouldn't be the same. Now, shouldn't be really different, I should say. But the reality is, it's going to be probably even more important to have some clarity of if I'm going to be investing in a different market, there better be some really key criteria and key reasons why I want to do so. So a different market may provide much better cash flow. So you want to make sure that if you're going to be investing in Tuktoyaktuk or out in Halifax, hypothetically speaking, that is definitely worth the time and energy and expense to do so. And so when you're doing your analysis, you got to make sure that it is definitely worth it for your time and your money as well. The one piece that I do want to highlight is if you are considering a different market, the one thing you want to build into your analysis is travel expenses. So my recommendation is any market that you're investing in, be it in Canada or down in the States or Brazil or whatever the case may be, my recommendation that you should be going out to see your property at the very minimum every 6 months. So then you always have the ability to go see how it's performing, making sure that your team is doing its job appropriately. And at the same time, you do need to be accountable for yourself to making sure that that property is performing well. And the only way to do that is to get out and see that property very frequently, and every 6 months is kind of the minimum. So build that into your analysis. Again, if you're looking at a property hypothetically within Canada, maybe you're budgeting an extra $1,000 every 6 months to offset that expense for travel. So in your property analyzer, you may want to budget, say if you're planning on holding it for 5 years, times $2,000 per year, that means 2 trips. You may budget an extra $10,000 for travel expense and put that into your reserve funds to support that travel for the next 5 years. So that's just one little tip there in regards to an additional expense that you want to budget when considering investing in a different market in a different area. Last but not least, you've built your team, you've got the property analyzer, you find that the area that you're interested in makes the most fundamental sense. The next real key step, and the scariest step, is actually putting offers in. And the one thing I really want to highlight is don't be too concerned about putting offers in. The key thing that can help protect you is obviously conditions. And so my recommendation is don't be afraid to go in, put some offers in, and then if you got an accepted offer, just within your conditions, you reference, your condition to financing, property inspection, maybe a building report, and then the last one that I highly recommend that you put as part of your condition, to buyer's viewing to your satisfaction. So what this does is it gives you the ability, normally within about 5 to 10 days, to go out and see the property first and foremost before you start the process of going through the due diligence or the conditions process in regards to getting to financing and stuff. So by doing this, it protects yourself. So even though you have an offer, you have it under contract, you've secured the property, you have the ability to still go out and fly and take a look at the property before you start the process of actually starting to close on it. So for ourselves, we were just in Edmonton. We just secured an apartment building out there. That was the first time I actually saw it. We had it under contract for almost 2 weeks. So with that being said, I went out, did the visual inspection, but that was the first time that I was able to see it. And I was very, very comfortable in doing that because the numbers made fundamental sense. I really liked the area. My team that I had in place really provided me a lot of insight about the area and the property. And then, so for me, I was very, very confident before I went out there. I was very confident putting the offer in, no problem. And even more importantly is if I need to get out, I still have the ability to get out because I still have conditions in place. So with that being said, those are the ways that people go out and try to find deals outside of their province, outside of their area, because sometimes there are better deals than right in their backyard. And so I highly encourage for people that are wanting to look and maybe exploring a little bit different, just follow some of these key steps just to try to help you get motivated and just to face some of the fears that anybody can do this. So again, market analysis, making sure you take the time to review the area, having some clarity to the fundamentals within that particular area on job growth and all of those wonderful things, rent controls, making sure that you establish a great solid team. There's lots of ways to build your team. We're going to be talking a little bit more about this on the Savvy page. But again, referrals, making sure that you're networking with lots of people and then interviewing these individuals that are going to help make you successful by investing out of province. Property analysis, again, still provide the fundamentals, look at those numbers, make sure that the property is cash flowing at any point in time, and then you want to be building a little bit extra in the reserve funds to help support you for travel when you're going out to those areas. And again, highly recommend you get out there at minimum every 6 months. And then last but not least, please don't be afraid about putting offers in. That's part of the exciting part. That's one of the fun parts of the job. And then you know what? You've got conditions to help protect you. We will be going over some of those things as well. But at the end of the day, put offers in, feel confident about it, and then with your condition in regards to buyer satisfaction in there, it will help protect you for the short term and then in the long term as you go through the process of the acquisition side. Okay, so I hope that this video helps, and again, please post your comments at the very bottom if you have any more questions, and I thank you guys for being part of the Savvy group. Cheers.